Hi class, welcome to week 2. I hope you had a lot of fun with last week's assignment. Um, Everybody's projects looked really good. Make sure you read the directions. I've had a few students have not submitted their projects yet, but it might be kind of slow starting, so please hand those in. I will give you full credit. So we're going to talk about week 2, unit 2, which is all about shape. It's one of my favorite assignments, and I think positive and negative space is one of the most important elements in almost all of art. So let me get to the presentation and I will tell you a little bit about it. So when you open week 2, you're going to see shape, positive and negative. We went over line last week, so let's see if I can kind of scroll through this. Shape is an area having a specific character and is defined by an outline or contrast of color, value, and texture. Let me go through here. Okay, we're going to go over, when we do our exercises for shapes, these are the different supporting properties that we are going to be working on and doing exercises on. Space. Posit is the measurable size of an element in an area. So we're going to talk about positive space. In other words, positive space is elements that an artist puts on the paper. Negative space is the unoccupied space around it. And a lot of times negative space is more important than positive space because, for instance, on Project Runway, when they look at the photos and fashion photographers take photos, they look at the space that's around the model. So if they put their arms up like this or whatever, they're looking at this area right here being negative space. Same way with graphic design art, and you will be able to firsthand do exercises on positive and negative space. Let's go through. If you've this is kind of an interesting graphic with the negative area. Is it a vase? Is it two faces? So this is positive when you see it as a vase, and this is negative. But then if you see the faces is positive, and then the base is negative. Same way here. Positive and negative space is almost transferable. And this is a really good example from M.C. Escher. If you are not familiar with M.C. Escher, you need to look him up, do some research on him, because he is the master of positive and negative shape. And I'm sure you've probably seen some of his work. So you're going to have 5 tasks in this project, and let me see, ink task number 5, and you will get extra credit. So let's go through what the tasks are. First thing you're going to do, you're going to have to take your sketchbook and you're going to have to draw squares. All of your elements are going to be in frame of references, and they're going to be squares right here. So right here, let me see. This is a square. This is not a square. So take your sketchbook and I want you to put 1, 2, 3, 12 squares, or as many squares if you want, on a page. Okay, the squares need to be 3-inch squares. Okay, if your sketchbook is a little bit smaller, you can go with 2.5 inches. Use a ruler, please. And a lot of these exercises, they show up a lot better if you use a dark pencil or ink. Ink really works the best. So the first task is going to be, you're going to take one triangle, and the whole theory behind this is you're going to do complete 6 thumbnails using only one rectangle in the square. Okay, but all the negative space has to be different. So one rectangle, read the directions, task 1, different negative space. So let me see if I can get into, okay, here's a great example. You've got one, let me move this over a little bit. We'll try to move it over a little bit. Okay, so you've got one rectangle, positive space, negative space. Do you see how this negative space is different? This Negative space creates a triangle. Here it's a geometric shape. You can have the rectangle break the border, but erase this part, okay? So you can see this rectangle. Now you've got one here that's just sideways, but look, different size negative space here and here, and the same thing here. You've got the same size rectangle on every single square in task 1, but you're moving it around the page. It's all, the negative space has to be different, okay? Let's see if I can back to my, let me move it back a little bit. This is kind of a little tricky. Okay, so that is task 1. Oh, this is a much better layout anyway. Task 2, you're doing positive and negative space again, and you're using 2 rectangles. Your rectangles are again the very same size. 2 rectangles, the very same size, and you're going to have them overlapping. I'm going to show you examples of these. Task 3, 2 rectangles, different scale. Different scale is it's the same rectangle, but it's smaller and then it's larger. You can overlap. Where they overlap, you can make the spaces white. I will show you examples from another student on this. The 4th task, we're using rectangles for all of these different exercises. 2 rectangles, different proportion. Proportion means a fat rectangle or maybe then a skinny one. Scale is smaller and bigger. Proportion is a different shape completely. Number 5, convert line-themed photo from week 1 into shapes. And I've got some great examples of that too. So the whole exercises is exercises in positive and negative space. You have to follow directions. Each one of these tasks are a different page on your PowerPoint. Okay? Please ink them. They're much easier to view. Okay? So there again too, let's recap. These are the squares that you're going to have to draw in your sketchbook. Okay? Let's go over task 1 again. Task 1 is 1 rectangle. Whoops, what in the world happened there? Okay. Man, I don't even know how that happened. Okay. So you're going to do 6 of these though. Okay? The next one is 2 rectangles, same shape. See here, we've got one here, one here. Look how interesting that page is. Look at negative space is so interesting. The whole clue is do not make the negative space always different in size. So this is different from here to here, different from here to here, different from here to here, different from here to here. When you overlap your rectangles, you can create a white area where it overlaps. See, even here, you've got a different distance here and a different distance here. Here it is again, you've got the very same size rectangles like right here, and you're going to place them on the page. Okay, use your ruler. If you need to cut out a little piece of paper and trace it, that's absolutely fine. Task 2, make sure you follow directions. Okay, task 3, you're going to do different scale. You see how it's the very same shape, but it's smaller and bigger? There again too, look at this one. This is a really, really clever one that's really interesting because you've got the rectangle here, you've got the rectangle here, where it's overlapping, it's all becomes a negative space. So that's really a cool exercise here. Love this. It's breaking the plane of the page, but you're going to erase these areas here and please ink them. I think this one is really cool because there's lots of energy here. It looks like this rectangle is holding up this rectangle. And look at this really cool area here. So here's the two pieces that you were using. Large rectangle, smaller one, very same rectangle, but just different sizes, okay? I know I'm kind of fast, but okay, this is a really cool one too. You're going to be use 2 rectangles, different proportions. These are both rectangles, but they're different proportions. Now you're using different elements. So you've got a kind of a fat one and you got a skinny one. And there again too, look at all this white space. Negative areas are fabulous. Look, there's a different distance here, here, and you got this little sliver here. Make everything interesting. Break it up. Here you've got, it doesn't overlap, but you've got this, you create shapes with your negative space, and that's what we're totally looking at, making interesting areas. Okay? The next one is, okay, this one is the gal. This is from week 1. Someone took the picture for her, and remember how you did the exercise where you had lots of lines? Okay, so this is just a thumbnail. It's not inked, but I just used a little square for the model, and then I just went in and I did these really, really cool, just a thumbnail, and then you need to ink it for the extra credit. Okay, so this is, it might be task 5. Yeah, it is task 5. That semester it might have been page 4. I don't know. But you can see how you can take your picture and kind of break it up into shapes, okay? Now what I'm going to do is, let me see here, what's down here. I am going to go and I'm going to show you another student's presentation, okay? It's got lots of stuff you're going to see here on my desktop that I need to get rid of. Okay. All right, so this is week 1. This is from a student last semester. This is in their sketchbook. It's inked. It's very, very nicely done. It's got 6. You only need 6 per page, okay? But the same rectangle, but she's got lots of different negative area here. Very, very good craftsmanship. Okay, let's see if we can go to the next page. Okay, this is test 2, 2 rectangles. Everything is different, and it's just a really, really excellent job. At the top of the page, it has test 2, positive and negative space, 2 rectangles. Okay, excellent job. Try to use a ruler. Okay, let's go to the next page. Well, let's see if I can get to the next page. Oops, went too far. Okay, 3. 2 rectangles, same size. Task 3. Task 4 is 2 rectangles, different proportions. Now, this student used all of their skinny ones in white, but that's fine. It really doesn't matter. This is an excellent, excellent presentation. I can read it. It's very clear. She's taken, when you take photos of your work, make sure that you're right on top of it. Don't have it in perspective and have it like a mile away, okay? Okay, and this is the last, she must have done her photo of a cat in a corner. So you can make this a square, you can make it a shape, a fill it in shape. But this is a great, it's kind of loose, it's not ink. She didn't get the extra points for inking it. But it's a really, really nice, you're just breaking up your photo into elements of design, okay? So it was a great presentation. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast, but you can go back and review this video. And I think it's self-explanatory, and have fun this week. I know that most of you do have supplies. If you don't have supplies, you can use a pencil and a piece of paper. But you do get ink pens. You have a ruler. Please use a ruler. Craftsmanship is really important, okay? So I think that's it. Any questions, please email me if you're having problems getting started with the class, because I had a few students that hasn't sent their survey, and if you don't send your survey, I have no idea if you have your supplies or not, okay? So have fun this week. We're going to have lots of exercises every week. It's a very hands-on class, which most students really, really like. So again, email me if you have any questions. Welcome to week 2.